Hello everyone. We are now going to discuss Karl Marx's ideas on administration or bureaucracy. Okay, remember that when we talk about administration, we are talking about bureaucracy here. Okay, so in previous classes, we have talked about Karl Marx's ideas on the state and how he comes to the conclusion that the state is not a natural institution and that it is an artificial device and nothing more than a machine for the exploitation and oppression of one class by another class. Okay, and we've also talked about the division of the history of the state into 5 stages: the pre-state state, which is the primitive communism, then the slave system, the feudal system, the capitalist system, the socialist system, and finally the communist system, which is, according to Karl Marx, the final goal of man's journey towards freedom. Okay, today we are going to talk about Karl Marx's opinion on the bureaucracy or the civil servants. So when Karl Marx talks about the bureaucracy, he is talking about the government officials. When Karl Marx talks about administration, he is talking about the government officials, officials of the government, the civil service. Okay. Mm, In other theories of bureaucracy, say for example, in the case of Max Weber, when he talks about the ideal type of bureaucracy, he's referring to different types of organizations, both government and non-government. Mo, government government law organization na thok tu te soinan bureaucracy hi mang thina ni Max Weber chuan mase Karl Marx ve thung hi chuan bureaucracy a soi hian sarkar na thok te big soinan a mang ti kha tir tang khanin in lo chin chha don ya so in today's class we are going to talk about how Karl Marx feels about the bureaucracy and what he says will happen to the bureaucracy after the revolution and after the socialist state is established. Okay, we're going to talk about all of that. Now, Karl Marx framed his ideas on bureaucracy. He framed his ideas on bureaucracy based on his personal experience while observing the functioning of the bureaucracy during a famine in one of the districts in Germany in 1843. In fact, in 1843, there was a famine in the Moselle district of Germany, and Karl Marx watched very closely how the bureaucracy was handling the bureaucracy kati chan sarkar na thokte soina mo sarkar na tokte khan khalai famine na khanin anchet la dan ten khosak dan te kha uluk te khan alo thirani, and he came to the conclusion that the bureaucracy is incapable of serving the general interest. General interest omzia chu common good mi zong ta na thatur khanin nan thok theilo ti khangai dan nge tak aron siam tani an chet la dan len khosak dan en atang khan. In fact, he believed that the bureaucracy can serve only their own interest and money interest back an nga even lawan nga isak bokhek lawani ti khanga idan nge takaron nei tani ti chuan Karl Marx used the terms such as state machinery, public administration, state apparatus, and bureaucracy interchangeably. So bureaucracy, administration, ati te state machinery, state apparatus asoi piang khan thil pakhat soinan bureaucracy te administration te soinan khan amang tinani chu. And one thing we have to keep in mind that was that Karl Marx did not write extensively about the bureaucracy, but whatever he wrote was very, very important because even though bureaucracy was not central to Marx's thought, he was more concerned about state and state administration, and yet he could not ignore the significance of bureaucracy in a society, in the modern society. Okay, so Karl Marx attempted an explanation of bureaucracy in a scientific manner and assess its impact on the power structure of the modern society. So according to Karl Marx, in a capitalist society, which he says is an exploitative society because the society was divided into two classes, the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, and the bourgeoisie controlled the state. Bourgeoisie was the capitalist class. Okay, and in this exploitative capitalist society, the bureaucracy, it gets embedded in the society, it gets fixed firmly in the society, and it acts as an instrument for maintenance of exploitation, just like the state, because it is the state machinery. State manrua, state call, ani avang khan bureaucracy po kha, state ang chia khan, it becomes an instrument for maintenance of exploitation. Okay, So for him, bureaucracy is a political expression of the division of labor, and under bureaucracy, the human beings become a mere object of manipulation. So Karl Marx used the bureaucracy in a negative sense, in a negative term. In fact, all Marx ale athu chhuai te zong zong khanin bureaucracy hi chu thil thalo capitalist society a chuanin mi ti du da na man ruwa state ni na ang che kha bureaucracy po kha ni na kha nei ve bokani atini. So the bureaucracy is tied to the capitalist state, and it is an instrument of exploitation and suppression, just as the state is an instrument of suppression and exploitation. Okay, so like I said before, Marx did not write extensively on bureaucracy, and the bureaucracy only attracted his attention because of the concern of the bureaucracy with the state and state administration. And Karl Marx expressed his views on the bureaucracy in one of his books, and the name of his book is Critique of Hegel's Philosophy of Right. The name of the book was Critique of Hegel's Philosophy of Right. And in this book, he looks at bureaucracy as an institutional incarnation of political alienation. Okay? So, and according to Karl Marx, bureaucracy exhibits some important features which we are going to discuss. The first feature is the origin of bureaucracy. How did the bureaucracy originate? Okay, according to Karl Marx. Karl Marx believes that the bureaucracy is a closed society within the state, and it comes into being. It originated because of social division, class division. State alo piandan ang che khan bureaucracy po khalo piangani. Society private property alo che khan class division alo ta society ha class alo in chen sang ta khatachang khanin state alo piangani ati ang che khanin bureaucracy po kha state lo piandan ang che khan. Because of the division of society into classes, the bureaucracy was born, and so therefore the bureaucracy is allied equally with the capitalist state and the capitalist class. Bureaucracy to capitalist state like capitalist class nen khan taka in kung kai anni and future po the future of the bureaucracy is linked with the future of the state and the capitalist class. Okay, so he goes on further to say that the bureaucracy possesses the state as its private property. Okay, and second feature, the deliberate mysteriousness. So according to Karl Marx, the universal spirit of the bureaucracy is its secrecy, which it secures internally by hierarchy and externally by its character as a close cooperation so as an organization having a legal entity. So the universal spirit of bureaucracy is its secrecy. Engkim ka arug vekinte du tani kami tiing makalang tlang khan atidu reng law tani, because it is afraid of conducting the affairs of the state in public. Mi puite ka na thilti ka an shet an lawa and he considers political consciousness as treason against its mystery. Mitren khatina ronshetiang du an khon an mani kha miswal bera khan chwa tani treason tiam ja chu the crime of betraying one's country. So the bureaucracy wants to maintain its mysteriousness, it wants to maintain its secrecy, it wants to hide all of the functions of the government away from the public eye. That is the second feature of bureaucracy according to Karl Marx. And the third feature, hierarchy of knowledge. According to Karl Marx, the bureaucracy is a circle from which no one can escape. Its hierarchy is a hierarchy of knowledge, and the top entrust the understanding of detail to the lower, and the lower levels credit the top with understanding of the general, and so all are mutually deceived. Office iva kala iva dora sorkar na tokte iva dor don ni chuan alula mai kal chuan heta engma kan chevelo hnoilama khoi ni ke ni chuan hei chu kan khoilo anteng a hnoilama chuk chuan a hengte chu kan thu engma amlo kan pute ti ni ti khan anin pu ton ta there nobody wants to take responsibility. That hierarchy of knowledge is an instrument used by the bureaucracy to maintain its secrecy and its mysteriousness. Okay, that is the third feature. And the fourth feature, the bureaucracy's private ends. So according to Karl Marx, the bureaucracy looks after only its own interests. It does not care for the interest of others. Public interest katsu angay poy molo, common good angay poy molo. Its primary objective is to chase after high posts. Mo posting chatak takte, the making of his career is all he is concerned about. So the bureaucracy is characterized by struggle for promotion and childish attachment to artificial symbols, status and prestige an mani an career advancement le an promotion te an lo tha te posting tha te khang ba kha an ngai poimo tak tak lo ani atiani chu wang chuan bureaucracy chuan an du ber chu an mani ta na thil thati midang ta na thil thati kha an tum lo ani mo fifth feature is a closed world. Like I said before, according to Karl Marx, the bureaucracy is considered to be a particular closed world within the state. State chunga closed world pakhat khani. And he says that it's a closed world of oppression and jealousy. An mani le an mani sarkar na tok teka chu anin thik ema an chante aya posting chazok te promotion masak zok te ham thatna an chante nei velo nei te kha andu ani mo te khan achung rila kha chan anin erin anin thik lai khan pon lammi tan kha chan lu thei mi alo mo because they maintain a united front of silence and hostility atiani chuan point number 6, another feature, the very, very important feature of bureaucracy is incompetence. Incompetence means inefficiency. So according to Karl Marx, the bureaucracy is also characterized by incompetence. And that he says that the bureaucracy shies away from taking responsibility and reng lo, even though they think that they can do everything. This one Karl Marx bureaucracy chungchang and recruitment policy po hi asoi sel na sa ani. He is very critical of the recruitment of members of the bureaucracy through competitive examination. He says that the bureaucracy needs statesmanship to the skill in running the state, which cannot be tested through competitive examination. Akot pakhata chon, he says one does not hear that the Greeks or the Romans past exams mo the Greek le Romans how to statesmanship mithiam ang kan ngai thinan nita Karl Marx chuanin one does not hear that the Greeks or the Romans past exam. In his opinion, the main function of exam is to ensure that only person of the upper class who can afford costly education are able to enter the bureaucracy. It's 1 million fa the upper class ho chau te khan bureaucracy and lut theya. It's 1 an mani hi mithiam pon nilawa statesmanship khan thiam na po an nei chuang lawani they are inefficient, they are incompetent, they only depend on the rules. They are so bound up in the system, they give more importance to rule and they attach no importance to the human beings. So bureaucracy kami a organization shim khani na ron shintel pakatu loss of humanity atiani chu organization lian sarkar organization ate chuan po hian workers tend to function like machines. Sarkar na tak tu te khanin dan zulzuizel khan they want to function like machines, they lose their humanity, the office becomes a big machine and everybody working are like parts of a big machine. So loss of humanity is another feature that he talks about in his ideas on bureaucracy. The next feature is parasitic role of bureaucracy. So in a class society, Karl Marx denies bureaucracy and organic position na pevedu lo ni Karl Marx kan position an nei ve lo atiani bureaucracy sarkar na tok te hian because it is not directly connected with the production processes. The bearers of the relations of production are social classes, one which owns the means of production and the other which does not. Society reng chuanin haves and have-nots and clear shangta the haves sekatuan they own the production houses, have-nots katuan they work more, they provide the labor. Mas bureaucracy katuan eng mati vetur an nei lo awangin class society ahian Karl Marx ahian he denies the bureaucracy and organic position in the social structure because it is not directly linked to the production processes, and therefore he says that it leads a parasitic existence. Parasite to one which an organism which does not provide its own food but feed on other organisms. Mo midangte tisendot midangte thochwa sa ringa lokho save mai ang mo parasites ang khana ngai tani. And he says that the bureaucracy is designed to maintain status quo angai ringa omkha. They do not want change, they resist change, they want to maintain status quo and the privileges of the dominant section of the society. Lal taka inti thei taka eng mati si lava kha society kha class society lo omve kha antum berani atiani. Chuan next feature is the eventual withering of bureaucracy. Karl Marx believes that the society born out of a proletarian revolution in capitalist society atanga socialism mo khalai fundamental change lo tur revolution lo tur working class revolution proletarian revolution lo tur kami nu a khovel tharmo le kami socialist state le kami nu a communism ati zong zong after the revolution mo post revolution a khanin enge bureaucracy hi adin hun ven ni ang ti achan na chuan Karl Marx a khanin the society born out of a proletarian revolution will do without the bureaucracy because when classes will be abolished after the revolution the power of the state will disappear mo when classes will be abolished after the revolution nu a khan private property zong zong kha aom to don lo wangin classes kha to don lo ni classes will be abolished chumi nuwa chuan the power of the state will disappear mo state khan ati tur ati zo to nu chuan state po kha mo a power to lo nga ama kha it will quietly wither away ati kha and governmental functions will become simple administrative functions which even the workers can perform bureaucracy the kha revolution nu khan mamo na a to don lo ni tho turan nei to don lo an to don lo they will wither away like the state itself atiani so in all of this Karl Marx had not said with clarity. He does not say very clearly what would happen to the bureaucracy or what would be the position of the bureaucracy after the revolution. He simply says that administrative functionaries which will replace the bureaucracy asan to administrative functionary engamoni khatso an omangay don tani other than the bureaucracy. But that administrative functionary will be removable servants. Mo dudu huna remove thei dudu huna ban thei who will be paid ordinary workmen's wages. Kutna thok tu te na anlo ang lo ve thau kutna thok tu te ai lo tam chuang lo and who will be under close supervision khat tiang ang functionary kha an to do na ni revolution nuwa chuan ati ani chiang lo roi kha chuan soima se alanda na hi chuan Karl Marx angai da na chuan bureaucracy nami revolution ma a bureaucracy ang hi chu revolution nuwa chuan a to don lawa administrative functionary chu an don ni sarkar na tok te kha chu an tho do na ma se ma a bureaucracy ang mo ne powerful tak le lo sang tak kutna thok tu te ai lo sang dei ang le permanent post engeni hold ang khachu an to don lawani they will be removable servants they will be paid ordinary workmen's wages they will be under close supervision ti khachu asoyeni so in conclusion Marx's philosophy it has been criticized it has been proved wrong on various instances, but his philosophy provides deeper insights into the working of modern organization. His political and administrative ideas have made an abiding, lasting, more impact on the intellectual thinking as well as the socio-economic and political forces of the day. And his revolutionary ideas, it has altered the existing foundation of management thought, and it was after his name that a new ideology known as Marxism has emerged and which has influenced so many people, and like I said before, it has changed the entire political map of the world. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you.